Hey, it's Mark Strigl of Talking Metal, and I'm psyched to be here in the flesh with the one and only Ron Keel. Ron, it was great hanging out with you last night at the bar, hearing all the stories. I wish we had the mic rolling then.
We should have had the mic rolling, and I enjoyed the opportunity to catch up with you because you've been a big supporter of my career through the years. And on the VH1 specials, when I went country, what was this Jekyll and Hyde thing? Having me on your podcast to promote my records through the years, so I appreciate that. Good time last night. I told the entire Yngwie Malmsteen Steelers story. We'll have to get back on the air and do that at some point, but great to see you. Thank you for all your support through the years and for having me back on the show.
Yeah, you bet. And we're here at the KISS Expo in Atlanta. It is January 20th. Of course, you worked with Gene pretty extensively back in the day, but this kind of weekend has been really all about Vinnie Vincent. Did you ever have any run-ins with him back in the day?
The Vinnie era was over when I met Gene. Mark St. John was actually the guitarist in the band when I met Gene and we started working together. But I've jammed with all those guys. You know, Paul Stanley and I have sung together on stage. Gene and I have worked extensively together. But Bruce, Bob, had some drinks with Peter Criss on a couple of occasions. Eric Singer, the list goes on. But I've never jammed with Vinnie. But the day is young. You know,
it could happen later. You did a great acoustic set earlier with some KISS songs, some Keel songs. I mean, it was just a great set. Too bad Vinnie couldn't jump up there and play with it.
I would welcome that opportunity. Certainly respect the Vinnie Vincent era. Creatures of the Night we had at the Steeler Mansion in L.A. and Hollywood when we were trying to make it in Steeler. We had just a few albums because we couldn't afford. We had Scorpions, Blackout, Priest, Screaming for Vengeance, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, and KISS, Creatures of the Night. Those 4 records were in total rotation on our turntable there at the Steeler Mansion. So to come full circle and be a part of this Vinnie Vincent resurfacing is a great honor. And obviously the promoter did a great job getting the word out. The response to Vinnie's comeback, if you will, has been fantastic, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Let's talk about what's going on with you now. I mean, I recently read that you connected with Dave Ellison of Megadeth, who has this new record label. What's the story behind that? What's going on?
Well, Dave and I are old friends. Obviously, with our roots, we go back a long way. We had the opportunity to play with Dave in Sioux Falls a couple of years ago. We backed him up. He came up and did a Megadeth set. I actually sang Peace Cells and some of those Megadeth songs with Dave, and that's when we really bonded, and I really got a feel for what he was doing business-wise. He's doing everything right with bands like Dollskin. He released that Mark Slaughter album last year, which I thought was a great record. I'm a big Mark Slaughter fan, and Mark's a good friend of mine. So when it came time to do a Ron Keel Band album, I hit Dave up and I said, I'd like to work with you. I want to be on this label. And when we got together to sign the deal, sitting across the table from me, Dave Ellison said, Ron, I just want you to be you. Sing your life. 3 words, sing your life. He didn't want me to recreate the 80s or be Keel or be Ronnie Lee Keel or Jekyll or Hyde. He wanted me to be who I am now and embraced that metal cowboy brand, so to speak, and created a special imprint for us called EMP Outlaw, which will be releasing the Metal Cowboy album March 2nd, reloaded with new bonus tracks, remastered, remixed, and then the Ron Keel Band album coming out this summer with new original music and new versions of the Keel classics that my band has gone back in the studio and re-recorded Because of the Night, Tears of Fire, The Right to Rock, Somebody's Waiting, and I get a chance to do those songs again and do them right this time.
Very cool.
Not that the original versions suck or anything, but the new versions are really kick-ass, trust me.
Cool. And Will there be plans for touring after that, after the original music comes out in the summer, or what's up with 2018 in general for you?
I am always active, performing, writing, creating, releasing records. We had an extensive tour schedule the last few years. I don't expect that to change. Big bike events like Sturgis. Last year we toured with Tesla. We're going to play wherever we can play, wherever it makes sense, and yeah, you can expect to see us out on the road as much as I can possibly get there. Monsters of Rock Cruiser coming up in a few weeks. Looking forward to that. Those are fantastic events. But yeah, I'm gonna keep playing, keep singing, keep performing as long as I can deliver the goods. I'm anxious to get out there and play the new music for the fans and get back on your show and promote that this summer when the record comes out.
Absolutely. We definitely will make that happen. This is kind of a big question. You've had such an incredible career, going way back to the Steeler days with Yngwie Malmsteen and all the way through everything you've done since then. When you look back at this just massive career that you've had, what are some of your highlights?
They're obviously the Bon Jovi tour, playing with Bon Jovi on Slippery When Wet when we did 3 nights sold out at the Garden. The sold-out tour of Japan in '86, but now still some of these big events, even the Atlanta Kiss Expo today, the Monsters of Rock cruises that we've done. A couple of years ago, well, what was it, 2014, we did the cruise. I did 2 Keel gigs, 2 solo acoustic gigs, did the All-Star Jam, me and Joel Hextra and Frank Hannon and doing Montrose and fantastic. The All-Star Jam, did Cinderella. Tom Kiefer was unable to make the cruise because of some vocal issues, so Cinderella recruited some of the other singers on board. I got to sing with Cinderella and do that gig. And so I've done, 6 gigs in 4 days. I'm done. I'm clocking out. I'm going to spend the rest of the day on the beach. And then my phone rings, and it was Lita Ford saying, "Ron, I want you to do the Ozzy Duet with me tonight to close the show on the Monsters of Rock cruise." And obviously, I said, yes, okay. And learned the song on the spot and did that duet with Lita on the cruise. So that even at this point in my life, I'm still making great memories, having dreams come true every day, and just still glad to be in the game and making music and doing what I love to do. And I embrace my roots, my history. I mean, I know that certain fans have had they're confused about who is this guy, and I get it. I don't know who I am either, but I love to explore different landscapes, whether it's even before I sang metal, I did jazz or blues or classical music. I have awards as a kid from doing classical tunes. And to me, music is a beautiful landscape of mountains, oceans, and everything in between. And I want to explore all the territory I can while I can.
Very good. Now, the new music that's coming in the summer, the original music, who's playing with you on this?
This is the Ron Keel Band. These guys have been with me for 3 years now. We rebranded the project about a year ago as the Ron Keel Band. And Gino Arce, El Diablo on the bass guitar, who's been with me for 19 years now. He's also the bass player in Keel. DC Cawthorn on lead guitar, and 2 South Dakota natives, South Dakota Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Jeff Kohler, the Rev on drums, and Dakota Scott on keyboards. It's a fantastic group of guys that, if it weren't for them, I mean, what I've been through the last year with rebranding the band, my wife going through breast cancer, and all the struggles that we've been through, these guys have been my support group, so to speak. And we've kept the music going and been out there on tour and on stage, and they deserve this break. I believe that they've never had an album on the charts. I've seen my albums climb the charts and fall off, but this summer, those guys are going to actually open up a Billboard chart and see their band on the charts, thanks to Dave Ellison and Tom Hazard at EMP. And I want to make those dreams come true for those guys because they've been there for me.
Absolutely. I know we spoke about your wife last night in private, and I'm just glad to hear that things are looking better and she's feeling better, and our hearts and prayers and thoughts are with you and her and your family.
Thank you. It's been a tough ride. I didn't know when she was diagnosed if I would be able to keep going. Can I leave town? Can I even leave town? I mean, how am I going to get on a plane or a bus and leave her at home in her condition after she was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer? after the first couple of chemo treatments, she responded well, and I thought, you know, I've got to keep working. I can't. She takes a lot of energy and joy from my career and my music. She is as musical as I am, and she supported what I did. And so that energy that I was bringing home, excited about the new band, the new songs, the new show, everything that I do, I think hopefully helped her on the way to recovery. But she's my #1 priority, and if I had to stay home forever, I'll just be broadcasting live on Facebook from the Ron Keel fan cave, and I'm going to do some of that as well. Got a new site launching at ronkeel.com where I'm going to be doing some shows from the basement, showcasing some vintage material, some of the Keel stuff live at Madison Square Garden, all these live recordings that I have in the archives, and just sharing that stuff with the fans on the website the next year. So it's going to be a great ride.
Cool. What's the website again?
ronkeel.com. I think I have 6 albums coming out this year. As I mentioned on stage today, I made the announcement, the Final Frontier and the self-titled Keel album from '87 finally re-released by Rock Candy this year. Derek Oliver has been a strong supporter, and he's worked hard for a year to get the rights from Universal to release those albums, so we're excited about that as well.
Absolutely. It's always an honor talking with you and hanging out with you. Thank you for being on Talking Metal with us.
Let's talk metal.
Cool. Awesome. Dude. Thank you.